Welcome back to Anime Explained. Today's topic, Killua.
You use nen and you die. Make a sound and you die. If you understand, close your eyes.
Killua, full name Killua Zoldyck, is known as the third child of Silva and Kyoko Zoldyck, and the heir of the Yak family. Well, that was up until he scratched his mom's face off to run away from home and to become a rookie hunter. Killua was born in the Republic of Padokia. I said that wrong, I know, don't get on my ass. His three siblings are Illumi Zoldyck, Miluki, and Aluka. And now that we got his siblings and personal background out the way, let's get into his personality. Killua is introduced as a character kind of similar to Gon, where he's cheeky, cheerful, and full of mischievous ideas. However, contrasting to Gon's politeness, Killua can be quite rude to others, mostly strangers, older people, women, and he is known for having a sweet tooth. He loves everything sweet, and he has spent almost 200 million on snacks. Yeah, crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that's what they speak about in the Bible. Anyways, back on topic, he's also seen as very arrogant, usually taunting people with his abilities, but over time he becomes more and more humble with the more experiences that he sees. And despite his horrendous upbringing and treacherous training his family put him under, Killua has kind of always managed to remain generally positive, and he seems relatively unaffected by pain. Anyways, moving on to his physical abilities. His training while being with assassins has allowed him to have near immunity to poison, high tolerance for electricity, great agility and physical strength, and advanced armed and unarmed combat with stealth techniques, which he acquired at a very, very young age. He also is what is called a manipulator, and paired with his innate ability to be immune to electricity, this has allowed him to manipulate electricity by shocking himself with high amounts of it. And it's also been stated that he has enhanced strength. Before he learned Nen, he was able to open a 16-ton gate, and after he learned Nen, he opened a 64-ton gate. He can also easily lift boulders several times his own weight. He can dissect massive trees with a single strike, and he has also managed to break bones of stronger Nen users such as, I can't fucking say her name, Puknoda, I don't fucking know, and Machi. He was also able to rip off remote head with one swift motion and crush it in his hand, as well to pierce the exoskeletons of two chimera ants with his bare hands. He is also shown to have enhanced stamina, as he was able to complete a long distance run, more than 80 kilometers long, and taking place on uneven terrain such as ascending stairs and a swamp, and was the only non-user among the applicants not to exhibit the slightest bit of fatigue. He also fought Benolt for 10 days straight while keeping his guard up even as he slept. Not even 30 hours of continuous traveling foot and battling armed forces could even wear him down. Another really odd but useful ability that he has is muscle and joint control. Killua can dislodge his joints at will in less than a second. He has demonstrated this ability by dislocating his shoulders, elbows, wrists, and fingers to free himself from Machi strings, which was really cool but absolutely fucking disgusting. For my language, but dislocating joints and all of that stuff, that looks disgusting to me. And if you're wondering if he had a healing factor or not, yes and no. Like, Killua can recover from injury faster than normal, but it's not necessarily like Wolverine or nothing like that. He has also demonstrated that multiple wounds inflicted him by the Ortho siblings healed completely in only 2 days. However, he was unable to recover from extensive damage to his hands caused by Gon's rock even after 26 days. And fun fact, his only weakness is because of his brother Illumi. Illumi has put a needle in his brain that made it to where anybody that's slightly stronger than him, he will not fight under any circumstances. And this affected him the entire show until he eventually pulled it out of his brain. I know, isn't Illumi just the greatest big brother? Also, by removing this, it also gave him a much needed buff. It caused Killua to snap free of his brother's conditioning, while also thus regaining the full control over his mental capabilities in battle. This also had an effect of making his overall movements better and increasing his speed. Now, moving on from his physical abilities, let's talk about his mental abilities. It is very well known that he has genius level intellect, Like, so much so that his intelligence far exceeds that of any boy his age and is exceptional for also adults. He is very knowledgeable about a wide variety of topics and is endowed prodigy levels of intuition and analytical skills. His deductive abilities have also allowed him to make more accurate predictions on multiple occasions. He can also bear severe mental strain and still have the mental fortitude to still think clearly. To match all of these impressive intellectual capabilities, he is also an extremely quick thinker who can adapt to completely unforeseen developments. Although he normally relies on logic, sometimes to a fault, he is capable of creative thought, which allowed him to devise the basics of Godspeed in the heat of combat. He is also tremendously observant. He also believes that he can notice the slightest change in the expression of the two spiders. His terrific intellect has also allowed him to pick up on details that would ordinarily go unnoticed on a subconscious level, which results in him feeling a sense of unease towards a certain course of action before realizing why. Moving on, he has also been shown to be a master strategist. It says Killua is capable of devising complex tactics, as well run accurate simulations and evaluate the success rate of each of them, even in the middle of a fight. His skills of evaluating the assets at his disposal and making the most of them are so good that Gon and Biscuit were completely dependent on him to organize the Greed Island cards. And to deep dive more into his Nen ability, he can shock the opponent either through physical contact or while keeping his distance, by channeling his aura through his yo-yos or throwing it in the form of a lightning strike. Although most Nen users receive little to no damage from the electricity itself, they are still hurt and paralyzed for a few seconds. The peak of Killua's Nen skills are two Nen abilities collectively referred to as Godspeed, both of which Killua's electric aura to vastly enhance his speed by allowing him to transcend the limits of his physical potential. Whirlwind makes his movements automatic, while Speed of Lightning allows him to remain in control of his body. Regardless of which core function he employs, he can regulate the discharge of electricity outside of his body, making it so an ally touching him will only feel a mild stinging sensation, whereas the enemy being struck by one of his blows will be painfully executed and even suffer burns if unprotected. And this is such an awesome ability because it allows him to go on the offensive without having to hurt his allies. Now, one of the downsides to his ability, though, is that in order to generate electricity, Killua needs to charge himself by letting electricity run through his body, such as tinkering himself or holding on to a plug. By his own admission, however, his electricity is not very potent and he runs out of it rather quickly. Another inconvenience that Killua is not aware of because he doesn't know exactly how much electricity that he produces, which can result in him depleting his reserves very fast or unexpectedly. And the last bit of information is that Killua is a master of stealth. Killua is very, very, very proficient in hiding, spying, and infiltration, just like me whenever I want to see my crush, you know what I'm saying? I kind of do the same thing. I just hide in the closet and I'm very quiet. And also, a hunter is renowned for her hearing, commented that she could hardly hear Killua's footsteps even when he was running alongside of her. And this allows him to be an expert in tailing. Killua tailed Nobunaga and Machi around the town, with the two of them failing to spot him, although they clearly sensed his presence. He also has an ability called Rhythm Echo, an assassination art, and advanced application of silent gates technique. Rhythm Echo is a motion that creates multiple after images of a practitioner's body through a varying cadence of steps to confuse the opponent or create decoys. And lastly, silent gates. Thanks to his training, Killua has learned how to walk and run without making a sound. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments below if I'm missing any facts, or do you have anything of your own that you want to add on. 2, make sure you leave a like. 3, make sure you subscribe, or maybe just do one or the other. It really doesn't matter to me as long as this video is getting pushed out so I can give y'all more videos. Also, let me know in the comments down below, who do you want me to go over next? Do you want me to go over to Gon, Hisoka? Just let me know, and I got you, twin, don't worry. Anyways, I'm stalling for just 10 minutes. I love all y'all, and I hope all y'all make a bag and stuff and become millionaires and all of that stuff. Anyways, bye-bye.